Hello and welcome back to another lesson with Mr. Fieck. Today we are going to talk about comparing fractions in Unit 7. Now the great thing is all of Unit 7 should be review topics, so nothing that we cover should be new, a new concept being introduced in this unit, but all things that we're just reviewing that we have covered all throughout the entire year, kind of the important concepts that we really want to make sure that students know and have the concept of for going to 5th grade. So the learning target for today is that comparing fractions, being able to compare fractions by using benchmark fractions or having other strategies to be able to compare fractions. So let's jump right into it. We're going to look at comparing some fractions. It says shade in the bar below to show each fraction. Write a fraction you shaded beside each bar. So the first one, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's divided into 4 equal parts. So that number, however many equal parts our whole is divided into, that's going to be our denominator. So in this case, it's 4. Well, the only one that has 4 is 1/4. So I'm just going to shade in 1/4. So that would be 1/4. And remember, in order to be able to compare fractions, all of our wholes have to be the exact same size. You can't compare two different size wholes. Like you can't compare a small pizza to a large pizza, because if I ate 3 pieces of a small pizza, that's not the same as eating 3 pieces of a large pizza. So our whole has to be the same in comparing. So the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our denominator is 12, so 9 twelfths. So I'm going to write 9 twelfths. And then I'll shade it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and again, I don't have to shade them in perfectly, just so I get the gist of how many are shaded in. Okay, the next one is 2, so that's just going to be 1. So our denominator tells us how many equal parts our whole is broken up into, and our numerator, the top number, tells us how many of those parts we're looking at or how many of them are shaded. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 total parts, and I want to know 5 of those 6 parts. So 5, 6, and I'll write the fraction over here. 5, 6. The next one's broken up into thirds, so I'm looking at 2 of the 3 parts, and they have to be broken up into equal parts. So 2/3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So 6/8. I want 6 of the 8 pieces that I'm looking at that are shaded in. All right. 6/8. All right, so now that I have those, I'm going to use the benchmark fractions to try and compare. So which fraction above is the greatest? Well, the greatest. Which one has the most shaded in? In that case, 5/6 would be the greatest, okay? And then which one is the least? Which one has the smallest or littlest amount shaded in, which looks like it would be 1/4. So 1/4, and then it says write a comparison statement. Well, 5/6, remember the alligator's mouth is hungry and it always wants to eat more. So if you think of this as an alligator's mouth with a little teeth here, 5/6 is greater than 1/4. It always wants the most to eat. And then we talked about throughout the year, just kind of reviewing, that another way you can compare to make sure 5/6, you always, it's called the cross multiplication. You always climb the ladder. So I go 6 times 1 is 6, and 4 times 5 is 20. Oh, 20 is greater than 6, so 5/6 is greater than 1/4. Just another trick that we used when comparing fractions earlier in the year too. Then, which 2 fractions above are equivalent? Ooh, and explain how you know. So which 2 are equivalent, or that they have the exact same amount shaded in? And it looks like maybe right here, if I draw an imaginary line, I know I'm doing it freehand, but if it's an imaginary, well, kind of veered off there. It looks like almost is 6/8 equal to 9 twelfths? Well, now again, we can use the strategy we learned before. climb the ladder, cross multiply. 8 times 9, my basic facts, that's 72. Up, and 12 times 6, ooh, 12 times 6 is 72. So guess what? 72 is equal or equivalent. They equal the same amount as 72. Okay, one of the other things we could do is we could take 6/8 and divide it both by 2 because they're both even numbers. That would give me 3/4, and I could divide 9 by 12. They can both be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 4 is, or by 3 is 4. So they would end up both equaling, if I simplified them, 3/4. So there we go. Just a quick, simple review of how we can compare fractions by using benchmark fractions, or how we learned the really simple way is cross multiplying. The key is you always have to make sure you're climbing the ladder and going up and going across when comparing fractions. Hope that helps, and go make it a great day, boys and girls.